What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shane Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. So guys, Tamar Braxton has went viral for dating this new white man. Allegedly, he is an attorney, all right? And this particular guy is by the name of Jeremy Robinson. He is an Atlanta-based attorney, and looking at him, I mean, he a fly dresser and things like that, right? But you can kind of tell he's a white man who's down with black culture. Right, nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with it. But just by looking at him, you can tell that's what it's all about. And you know, on the outside, from what I understand, things look good, right? But I got this email from the brother, and Gossip of the City T, which is a pretty big gossip blog on Instagram, like Neighborhood Talk, The Shade Room. They have put out some interesting stuff about the socialite and lawyer and Tamar Braxton's new boyfriend. Now, this message here, and I'm going to read it, it comes from the baby mama, right? And so she says this Jeremy, a lawyer, an Atlanta socialite, Jeremy has a fond interest in black culture and a fetish over the women, so much so that he often refers to himself as light-skinned, white chocolate, and tags himself the minority within the minority. Imagine that a white man, the minority. 10 years ago when I met him, he would attend the club almost nightly, preying on beautiful black women and taking them home. Many still claim to frequently see him socializing in clubs and still preying on black women. Since having his child, I have found Jeremy to be extremely rude, arrogant, racially insensitive, womanizing, and degrading. He claims to be an ally of the people and protector of black women, but his actions tell us otherwise. From him laying in my bed as our infant child was sleeping and demanding I don't bring any N-words around his child, or telling black women he doesn't like weaves, to giving me a disgraceful amount of money for child support. Now, that's just one of the things, right? Okay. But now let's talk about this. Another email came through from Gossip of the City, and it says this: Fee, so my friend works at Bar One in Miami, Peter Thomas's restaurant from Real Housewives of Atlanta. They made them sign the NDA, so I'm the messenger. Is he broke or what? I'm trying to figure out why all of the employees' checks keep bouncing and the work group chat is a mess. Mind you, he just reopened after being shut down for not paying Miami taxes. So let's look at one of these things here, right? It says all of you under investigation will not receive checks until said otherwise, as mentioned in the Zoom by Mr. Thomas. I suppose you missed it. Let me remind you the numerical amount of $15,000 of theft being investigated by you. And so you have all these people talking all this stuff, right? But also, let me just say this real quick. Allegedly, this man has 4 black baby mamas and 4 half black kids. Had twins last year, all right? Now, let me just say this. Here's Tamar Braxton's new boo, okay? What does that honestly say? That this is the best that she can do. I don't think that nobody's trying to lie on the guy. I believe that these are pretty decent receipts. I think that Gossip of the Tea is, pretty legit when they come to these things. But my thing is, even Lil Duval had to call these women out for basically praising this particular guy because he's white. And if you look at the stuff that he's dealing with, this dude might be a little bit worse than a lot of the brothers, okay? He got multiple kids out of wedlock. He seems like he don't have no money. He just looks the part. So now, what does that honestly say about interracial dating? Let me explain to you guys what it means. You are what you attract, all right? And for many ladies, y'all was gonna go in and be like, I'm so glad that she ain't dealing with black men no more. I'm so glad that, she moved on. David Edifeso, at least he went to Harvard. And then, Vince, the other husband, she didn't scaled up. She didn't did better. Let me just kind of tell you, a lot of times when you see a lot of white guys in predominantly black cities, they get a pass for just being white. Just like somebody says about the Americans who live overseas. Now, it is true. if you're an American and you living overseas, you do tend to get advantages, right? You tend to get advantages, and it's typically a little easier for you to date, especially if you're in, third world countries or something like that. The DR, I would guess certain countries in Africa, it might be a little easier to date because you do have American privilege, right? Now, the thing about it is that a lot of black men, when you go to like, all white cities, something like that, you might not have black privilege so much, but a white guy, if he is in, let's say, a black area, let's say if you have a white man in Atlanta, a white man in, certain parts of the South, or a white man in black circles in California or LA, he can deal with more attractive a black woman on average than the black man can because he's white. People are not they're not gonna even look at his past, whatever, and those things is not gonna even be talked about. If he's a womanizer, it's not gonna be talked about. Things like that. It's just that he's white, he's right, he's the right complexion, he got the protection for the complexion, as some brothers say, right? But at the end of the day, these women that get into these relationships with these men, they think their life is going to be end up better. And in actuality, that dude end up being just as big of a scam artist as anybody else. I even see it here in Africa, right? You talk about it in Africa or certain parts, or even in Europe. Certain ladies get with white guys thinking everything is going to be good. The particular white guy, is asking her to do things she feels uncomfortable with. He not really spending, time with her. She don't really get the kind of money from her that she thinks or thinks to be, be protected. But it was all hype. You know what I'm saying? There's no real advantages of her really dealing with the particular man that she really can find that really is going to change her mind. You're just doing that because the guy is white, and you see it all the time. I just came back from Nigeria. I was there for like about 2 weeks, and whenever you saw somebody that was Lebanese or white, women kind of walked up to those dudes and thought things are going to be better. In instead of just looking at, this guy is still a regular man. But now with Tamar, this was her opportunity to step out there and get people talking because the guy is white. But still, his checks are bouncing, allegedly. He can't pay his employees, allegedly. Allegedly, they say that he's had some problem womanizing. He has multiple children out of wedlock. But now this is what y'all talking about, black men, right? Y'all are talking about these what black men do, go to the white man, and at least you ain't got to deal with the same stuff from black men. And in actuality, in this particular case, it seems like he has all the same problems as the Pookies and the Ray Rays. The only difference is that, he's well dressed and stuff like that. He might be a lawyer, an attorney. So, it looks better. But the situation is, where does it leave you? Okay, because most people, and I'm gonna say this to be controversial, most white men, Caucasian, the casual white man, and Tamar Braxton, would that, let's just be real. Do you think that would be an actual fit that they would see that would happen? Probably not, because Tamar Braxton is a really, really culturally strong black woman. Like, that's the attitude. All right, that might be a little different from a man who, don't really deal with black women so much. But from a white man like him, he's used to dealing with women like Tamar Braxton. So that's not a problem, right? So a lot of sisters, when they're dealing with white men, typically they're dealing with a white man that has dealt with nothing but black women all their life, or they have a preference for black women. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode here. Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. We're out.